Water Utility Board meeting. And Ashley, can you help me with a call to order, the roll call, please?
Peterson. Present. Gooding.
Present.
Pavich. Present. Hamilton.
Present.
Bristly.
Here. Public comment, number 2. Marty, anything?
Nope, thanks, Mike.
Right. Good. And number 3, approval of the agenda tonight. Everybody had a chance to take a look? Do we hear a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Tadevich,
Second.
second by Gooding. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Approval of utility board meeting minutes from April 8th, 2025. Anything need to be adjusted, corrected, comments? Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Peterson,
Second.
second by Tadevich. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Number 5, financial administrative. 5A, consideration to approve the bills payable. Get a chance to take a look. Anything stand out or need further clarification?
I looked at last night. I didn't see anything that stood out.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Tadevich. Second. Second by Hamilton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. And 5B, department update. Is that something you can help us with?
Sure. Not too much. Amber, Gage, and Sadie are all at the IAMU Clerks Conference. They've been there since yesterday. They're home tonight. And I believe Sadie sent out, and I just printed everybody a copy too of the training plan that she put together for Gage. So he's moving right along, and we're just going through our ERP Pro 10 migration, which is our billing software and our employee management software. So final stages of that tonight. Likely to be a few bumps, but it'll be a lot smoother when we get through the whole migration. It's going to be a much more user-friendly, up-to-date web-based system. So just got to get through the next couple weeks.
All right. Yes, Ashley, anything to add? No? Okay, thank you. Moving on to 6, electric department update. A, outages. Anybody get an update from Colin?
There were no outages.
Good deal. And 6B, a PCA update.
You did not give me that.
Okay, it wasn't in the packet. I'm still putting it together today. Not much of an update. We just touched base on it for Q4. So we have Q1 of 2025 now. You'll see at the top of the graph the total energy cost for the quarter at $229,958, just slightly up from Q4 of 2024, which brings the PCA to a credit of 0.01201, just slight increase from the credit from Q4. If anybody is interested in, I can send out the information that we used to put together the PCA. It goes through all of our different expenses and revenues that we have from our generation, our transmission, sales to our retail customers, wholesale expense, retail expense, all of that. And then we calculate what that total cost is for the month. And then we look at that based on against the base cost of what it is per kilowatt hour and determine the cost adjustment from there.
Good. Thank you. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, moving on to 6C. The other department updates, Colin, we can share?
Yep, he said crew is currently working on converting a section of primary line from overhead to underground between the South Third and South Third Place blocks on West Sheridan Drive, the final phase of the line rebuild project. The crew has also completed temporary service installations and streetlight repairs. Devin Gear is officially starting his apprenticeship. They had orientation today with IAMU.
Good. Thank you. Moving right along to number 7, the water department. Any water main breaks?
No breaks.
Excellent. Any water test results to share?
They've been submitted this month. They just haven't gotten back to us.
No, okay. And 7C, discussion on touring JM Eagle plant May 9th, 2025.
Yeah, so JM Eagle is, I think, the largest North American plastic pipe producer, and there's a plant in Wilton. So I've talked to them a few times about joining their plant. They would take groups of 5. It's easier for them to talk to the groups like that, especially during production. It might get loud. It'd be about 3 hours long, so I'm hoping to do 9 to noon.
9 to noon.
9 to noon.
Is that already set in stone? As much as I'd like to do it, May 9th, I think Marty and I are gonna have lunch with the governor.
There you go.
I was hoping to be able to do that,
I've
so.
got a picture with her. She's not a Veterinary Park. You bet.
Right, it's not set in stone. It's just like a floating date right now. It's the one, we kind of just want to get something down so we wouldn't forget about it.
Okay,
So if it's something where it's better for the group to go on a different day, we can schedule for a different day.
well, if it works, May 9th works for everybody else, I can do it another time, but if another day works, I'd still like to be able to do
We'll be
that.
traveling for basketball. Every Thursday and Friday, I told you.
Yeah, I'd like to go if you.
That's a Monday.
The 9th
Friday.
to Friday.
Friday.
I'm gone Thursday through Mondays, Mr. Yossi.
Oh, May 9th, I'm sorry, not May 5th.
You don't wanna go on Cinco de Mayo.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask next.
We could do a field trip then too, though.
Can we get a bus?
Yeah.
I guess maybe I'd start with, get a number of people that want to attend because.
Yeah,
5, you
kind
might,
of like the preliminary, just
Yeah.
kind of figure out who's
I mean,
able to
I'm
attend.
out of town that day,
Yeah,
anyway, so.
So if we want to move the date,
yeah, you know, I don't know what works for everybody, but that was gonna be my constraint, so.
so Tuesday, Wednesdays, this seems to be the best.
Yeah, with either Mondays or Fridays.
Which ones?
Mondays or Fridays. That's usually, I'm the freest then.
I say whatever the majority of the group will do.
Got a 20% chance of being able to go, so.
That Friday, that's
Don't count them in.
That Friday. That works.
Of the 9th?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That works for you?
yeah, okay, well. If that, you guys, if it works for you, we can catch it another time, so.
I think we can do a second round of it too. I'm
Okay,
sure they would be more than willing.
Is there other people from the city that wanna go or? for
That's
this?
actually one to extend the
Anybody?
invite to city council, because they would end up approving the ordinance that would
Yeah,
allow for plastic pipe, so. It
I
might
can
be,
go the 9th as of right now.
if we want to, the next council meeting, extend the invitation for council members.
You said 5 can go?
They'll take groups of 5, so as many people can go, but they'll just divvy it out to 5 to do the tour. So I mean, we could have. 50
So if you
people.
4 went, then another council member?
Then
Well,
Most-
you're gonna be one of the 5.
I'll be one of them, and then I'll probably have at least one of my operators go. And then anyone from City Hall, Nevada, or Jeff or Sadie wants to go.
okay, well, yeah, that'd be great,
Well, we
and then we could maybe set up a second one, and then one of the other operators and whoever else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So we'll keep the 9th and then plan on making a second date.
Sounds good, appreciate that.
it's not that first weekend in June. Brian, what's that weekend in June that we're going?
7th, I think.
So that one's out.
7D, discussion and consideration to approve the maintenance on high service pump number 1 and well number 4. So I see that you got, 4 different organizations to quote it, definitely appreciate, that because that, keeps everybody honest, that many quotes, it's,
Yeah.
just kind of looking through it, it looks like the Hoy was still the best price, is that what your consensus was as well?
Best priced, and then there's been discussions with ISG on who they're comfortable with as well, because they work with so many of these vendors.
Yep. It looks like Lada was considerably higher than everybody else.
Fearless is the highest. for
Oh,
all
okay.
said and done.
Oh, yep, look,
Yeah, Fearless would be just over 19,000.
Yep.
They were the last company to pull well four. And they have done a lot of work for us in the past. Before my time, Northway, well, and Pump was who did a majority of the high service and well. maintenance. And then Lada is a new company. They're out of Wilton. So it's somebody that's also close.
They're not new, but they're new to the city.
Yes, yeah, so like they were,
They've been around forever.
Sure.
Yeah,
What was ISG's preference?
they recommended Peerless and Northway. They seem to be the ones that they worked with more often than the other ones. They have heard of Lada. I don't know if they've worked with them very often.
So I see Northway, well, and it looks like they were the only one that stood out where they already have in here, replacing a, backflow valve.
So, yeah, the check valve at well four is actually a valve meant to be on a waste, like a waste treatment plant line. It's leaking currently,
Okay.
so that's why we're looking at replacement on that. It only leaks when it's active.
Okay, I just thought that was part of their process, right?
No,
I didn't see anybody else quote that part of it.
I think they just quoted it as like an additional service. Which would come up when Peerless, Northway, or anyone else that got awarded.
I have a question on this.
Mhm.
So if you look at Cahoy's, theirs is just to pull and inspect pump one. I don't see anything to it.
They had there's no, their repairs would come later, but there's a second bid for the well.
Oh, okay.
They did it two different.
Sorry.
The Northway, I'm showing around 11,000.
11,444. Check out. And I think Northway was actually, they drilled well five for us, pretty positive. And each of these companies has pulled every single one of the high services, so they all have been on-hand experience with the treatment plan and what it takes to pull those high services.
Do they have a local facility or does this go all the way back to Marion? Do the pumps go all the way back to Marion?
He did tell me I think they go back to Dubuque.
What's that?
So it'd be the same for Peerless, they would all go back to Dubuque. The Peerless cost is a little bit higher because I have it right now. High Service One failed on us 2 weeks ago. So we re-greased it and restarted it and it's working now. You can hear the windings are starting to go scratchy.
Did it trip and overload, thermal overload or?
No, it just wouldn't turn.
Oh.
So we greased it and started it up again just to see if it runs, but it's getting a little scratchy. So this is bid for High Service One be pulled in July, and then they would come back and do well for in November when it's out of service. In the future, it's gonna be better for us to lump these together where they can just mobilize one time rather than separate cages, but because High Service had failed, the High Service motor had failed, I just wanna get that pulled and taken care of.
Sure. Their turnaround time, are they all similar or in your experience with them in the past?
Well, for last time took like a week because of they called it shale sludge, but it's like lime sludge and they had to essentially dredge it out and we had to help them with that. I think we had like 3 or 4 backhoe buckets full of it. So it hasn't affected the efficiency of the pumps, but if we let it go for too long, it probably could start affecting the efficiency of the pumps.
Everybody's doing 1 and 4, except there's Northwood, they're doing 4 and 3. 4 and 3.
That's a typo. I don't know why they put 3 on there.
Yeah, I figured that was a typo.
Well, not on a contract.
Right.
Yeah, I did see Floyd was hitting us with 2 separate job prep and mobilizations where it looks like Floyd was they're gonna plan to do the work in one mobilization for both.
Which moving forward, I have it all scheduled out where the high service and the well that's getting pulled that year, they'll get pulled at the same time.
Okay, great.
So should Northway, so they are doing 4 and 3, or that should, 3 should be
3 should be.
1? Okay, just wanna make sure.
What was didn't we just, what was the other well that we just did?
So well 2 just got completely rebuilt. And then I think we did high service 3 in 2023, and then we did high service 2 because it also had failed.
Yeah,
So we did 2 high services in the same fiscal year.
okay, that's what I couldn't remember. I mean,
So high service
it all
1,
just kind of run together.
it's been 3 years since high service 1 and 4 have been full.
Okay.
Not like the rotation that we're on, so we're actually hitting the rotation when we need to.
So we're not too far off on normal stuff, okay.
I'm assuming you guys keep a log of like what's going on with these.
Yeah,
Like
we have
wells.
files. We have files for all of them.
I just didn't know, maybe like for us, regardless of an Excel spreadsheet or something like that, like that just has something when these came up. You know, that just had these dates on it, so maybe Sadie could do something like that.
For maintenance that's occurred or like just daily occurrences?
No, just like bigger things like this. You
Like
know,
a PM, I guess, schedule.
yeah,
Yeah, it's on my calendar, but I can put it up, I can share that calendar, if that's what you're saying.
well, even if it was just like on, I mean, I don't know what you guys' thoughts on it, but it was just like on a document, so we had something to refer back to if this came up again, because I feel like we're always like, hey, did we just do this one, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't ever remember, yeah, like,
Wait till we had another one day.
yeah, because Pahoy did the other one, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
they did well too, and then they full high service too.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, all right.
It looks like Northway, depending on, again, your thoughts,
And then,
would be the way to go.
yeah,
An ISG recommended Northway, you said?
Yeah, they gave me a list. 4 companies, 2 of them don't work in this area. Or 2 of them don't do the work that I'm asking them to do. So then Northway Peerless were the other ones that ISG recommended, and we've done. Obviously, a lot of work with both of those companies.
Any issues you've had with Northway in the past?
I have never personally worked with them. Their representative that comes down here all the time, Tom, he's a good guy. Seems like he would tell the truth if something was worse or better than it was.
Anybody else have any questions? Then, I hear a motion to proceed with Northway Well and Pump, for the high service pump number 1 and well number 4, maintenance.
And that's 11,424.15, right? Have a motion,
Motion by Panovich. Second. Second by Hamilton. All in favor, say aye.
hi,
Aye. Nays, ayes have it. All right, Northway it is. Okay, next item 7E, discussion and consideration to approve purchase of generator radiator replacement. So it looks like he had, over, did they do some additional testing to narrow it down to the radiator, or are we just kind of shotgunning parts at it to see what fixes?
So I think if they priced it based off of the maintenance that's done and what the tests we had running were. So I think that's what they boiled it down to. If we want to do a second drain and flush before we do the replacement, or if we want to even consider a replacement, we can do a second drain and flush. Which would be the $10,100 or whatever it is.
Well, look, as the radiator cost itself kind of set alarm bells off on my head, and so immediately I'm searching to see if I can find a better deal here. So it's a Cato Light unit, which,
What's the brand?
Cato Light, it was bought out by MTU. So I can't find exact OEM parts for the Catalyte generator model that's identified at our main water plant. So I don't know if there's any aftermarket, or this price here, if that is an aftermarket radiator, or.
So it's a Catalyte generator, but the engine itself is a gear.
So you can see that they're buying it from someone else and marking it up. I mean, that's
Yeah.
outside purchase radiator. I guess my question on this, because from what I saw in those tests, it was iron they were finding in there.
Yeah. I think that's what the lab results had found, even on the 2 week turnaround when we drained and flushed it, they still found.
Which,
So that could be a water pump, that could be
I don't know.
other items, and just, that's why I was trying to get to the bottom of this, if they did additional testing to identify it, is the radiator gonna fix it, or are we just kinda
Guessing.
doing that and guessing? That's,
I'm gonna bet it's not gonna fix it.
yeah, and I agree, like you said, there's iron found in it multiple times, so,
We wouldn't think if the radiator was failing, you'd find iron in the coolant. Because most radiators are aluminum.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the iron part of it is what it's coming off of a head or a block or
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Shaving something off somewhere in there.
You can always have them come back out and do like another diagnostic.
I mean, are you adding coolant to it all the time or water?
No. And we check the reservoir once a month.
So it's not really leaking, even if it was,
Well, I mean, you're not, diluting the coolant with anything else,
Yeah.
so where's the iron coming from? I guess that's the ultimate question is what, what's that? Moving the fillers.
and it's the coolant test that's continuously failing, so, there are other tests that they perform in the oil. It gets, passing results, so.
But you also, you cool the head all the time, so it runs up through the head. But I mean, if you got a head issue, it's gonna pick up iron or whatever and crack, or something's going bad up there.
I just, in my opinion, it's could be wrong, but I don't think it's gonna fix it.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the last, coolant sample again, and they said it's actual visually present magnetic solids.
Here's replacement.
Yeah, he got a replacement cost, from CAT. How old is this unit? Do we know?
I wanna say that was revealed before, I don't know off the top of my head.
And I guess I just went back and reviewed the replacement. Multiple, and part of their replacement, they're indicating that they're gonna include a 400 amp, automatic transfer switch. Is there a reason why they wanted to put a new transfer switch in and
And
not
that would be for the temporary backup.
In case we ever needed it, right?
Right. But that is also,
Well, so they have an adder for the connection cabinet for the temporary input quick connect panel of 5250s or 5,250. But I thought we agreed that the Tri-City is probably gonna come in better than that.
yeah, and I was waiting for a quote back from LMI. So at the next meeting, we would go over the transfer switch, the quick connect transfer switch.
Okay, I just wondered if there was something specifically wrong with our transfer switch that we needed to replace it, and what that cost is, because they have that cost lumped in with the generator itself.
Yeah,
as part of the 56,640. So if that transfer switch is, say, $2,500, then would that reduce that? And that if we didn't actually need the transfer switch,
Have you ran any of this by Keith to see what he thinks? Might be worth talking to him about, just to
I
see.
see, he's done, he used to do some maintenance on the generators. But then Altover took over.
Just get his opinion on it. Before we spend that amount of money.
Yeah, I guess I would prefer that we don't have to spend that money if we don't need to.
Because then, I mean, if that's an older generator, you're still, that's what, a quarter of the cost of a new one?
Yeah. Especially if you're gonna remove that from the price tag here, you know.
yeah, so if that brings it down to say 50,000 and then we're gonna throw, say, 12,000 to do the radiator and that doesn't fix it.
And then
Now we're a fifth of the way there.
and what is, I mean, what is causing metal to get into that? Like aluminum shouldn't be magnetic.
Yeah, so there's three lot of things.
You know, it's not the radiator, cause they're pretty much all made out of them.
Yeah.
So it's either gotta be in the head or in the water pump where the water circulates through it.
Have they taken it down and like totally removed and like physically looked at? Like the
They-
head?
Other than draining and flushing the coolant system, they have not taken apart anything in there. I mean, they do like their typical maintenance where they change the oil, they test the gas. But yeah, we've never done like a,
Like a little bit of a tear down?
like a tear down, full diagnosis of the entire unit. That's something,
And have they checked the ECM for any overheating codes or,
not to my knowledge.
I mean, this is just some of the recommendations that,
Cause if the head's cracked, you'd think it would overheat.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe it could be electrolysis if the coolant wasn't maintained for a long time and they just, you know, it's just finally starting to rear its head. But then if that's the case, you got liners that are pitting, you got a lot bigger problems.
And again, you're looking then at do
Yeah.
so it says for the partial magnetic solids that may indicate localized hot spots in the cooling system. Iron is extremely high, nitrate is depleted, stop unit, check ECM for overheating, check coolant level, inspect radiator for clogging, plug cores or any other sign of malfunctioning. Repair and drain and flush and refill. That's last recommendation we have on it. But it's still kind of vague on what's the real problem here, the root cause.
It appears we're throwing a part at it, hoping it's
Yeah.
gonna fix the problem.
And that's
And I'm just like,
$12,000
it's like a
gamble.
car repair, and it's not, it doesn't feel right to me,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
Table this, get some questions answered.
I think if Keith has the opportunity, I think you're on the right track with.
Yeah.
Would hurt to ask him. And
What his thoughts are.
I think you sent me this text phone number. I'll give him a call, see what he says. Same guy.
Chris Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're still on track at looking at for that quick connect.
Yeah, I have, quotes from Tri-City right now,
Okay,
and then LMI just got me their quote today. For the next meeting, we can go over their quotes and proposals for that quick connect for a temp generator. If that generator failed.
yeah, perfect. I think that's still an important thing to have the flexibility there.
Yeah.
So,
If you're gonna get other quotes outside of them, and I'll send you a number to call.
Okay.
River Seas Engineering, they're usually quite a bit even lower and do that stuff if they have
Yeah, I think,
for you guys too.
I wanna say LMI was at like 13,000. And then Tri-City might have been around there as well.
I think Tristan's with that like 14. Did we have that one last week? That we had a price from them.
not for that.
I don't know if it was for the transfer switch, or the automatic. transfer switch. Either way, I'll have those quotes for some.
Is the generator, is Cat the only game in town for a generator too, of that size? For getting a quote of replacement?
So Tri-City's also quoting me a new one, so I think they would be able to do that work as well.
Okay.
Which would
And
be
maybe like
Probably
a
gonna be
bundle
about 30 or
package.
40% higher.
probably.
Yeah,
So, and they had asked for additional information outside of what Cat had out, like they asked for like peak kilowatts and
Mhm.
everything else for the treatment plant. Because they, when they looked at it, they even thought that the 150 kilowatt generator was too big for the treatment plant. So it might be something where we downsize, but again, if it's something where we look at expansion in the future, we just continue to go with the 150 or bigger.
Okay, then,
You can buy it once, just keep the one you need, you know, for the future, not you only
Right.
need today.
It's like, go big or go home.
That's, I did have them do a side quote for a 200 kilowatt, just so we can see what that's like.
okay.
all right, so 7E, we're gonna put on hold for now. And 7F, any department updates?
We started hydrant flushing yesterday. We were able to get 2 days in today, so tomorrow will be on day 4 already.
Okay.
Hopefully it only takes us about 3 weeks.
My daughter drove through one of those today.
Where?
There's like, I don't know, she said there's a fire hydrant like flooding and spouting. I'm like, okay, well, we don't sit in the fire, well, it's like just, it's pulsing in my car. I'm assuming she was an Eldridge.
What the hell was that?
Were you doing one today?
Yeah, we flushed 2 routes. I don't know where that was, man.
It had to be around like 10:30, 11.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, don't sit in that.
You wouldn't think you'd have to tell her though.
Well, good, then keep.
Oh, I think she thought it was
So.
Wouldn't think so.
They're not Gen Xers, you're saying, right?
All
We
right,
made her day.
brings us to number 8, adjournment. A motion to adjourn?
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I do that? Can I go back and try?
Yeah, sure. we have
For our new employee, and I don't remember, maybe we said this last week, that we hired Gage.
Mhm.
What is his, pay rate? Did we say that last week?
What did you say, 24.38,
24.38.
Same as the other.
All building clerks are the same.
okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? To adjourn?
Motion?
Motion by Peterson,
Second.
second by Panovich. All in favor, say aye.
I.
Aye, nays? Ayes have it. Adjourn.
Give me half. Give me half.
Phone bar.